I think it's about time we all get extra sexy and provocative. As the adults who run this empire, we're here to make exactly that happen. And we're finally in the mix tonight. I have an incredible frog in my throat that I'm sure I'll be clearing for the next 17 minutes. And you all will enjoy that, believe me. However, it is good to be with all of you, whether you're watching this live or you're catching this after the fact on YouTube. Although chances are you're watching it live because not too many people seem to catch these videos after the fact on YouTube. Which, strangely enough, one day when millions of people are watching these streams because the world catches on to what we're up to, shh, don't tell anyone. It'll be funny for people watching this video to be like, yo, what did he mean nobody watched these videos? He says 17 million views. Like, I don't know. What up, Sula? It is good to see you, my man. I was just talking to my wife about you and I meeting next week, trying to set the times, trying to adjust our schedules so we can make the time work. Thinking, my man, we will probably connect. I think you said noon Eastern Standard Time would work for you. I think you may be able to make that time work. Just might be able to pull it off, ladies and gentlemen. We might just be able to pull it off. It's Nier Automata, the best video game that's ever been made, ever in the history of everything in the multiverse. Now, I don't say that with absolute conviction because this, my fourth playthrough of Nier Automata, I believe. We're doing this playthrough to determine if that's exactly how I feel. Do I think Nier Automata is the GOAT? Do I think it's the greatest video game of all time? Well, I'll tell you this. And by greatest, it's obviously based on my own personal biases, people. There is no absolute GOAT. It doesn't exist for the people that want to actually try to make an objective argument for why Chrono Trigger is the best thing that ever happened, even though it's boring as fuck. You know what I mean? It's fine. Love what you love, man. Love what you love. See that body up in here? You ain't hiding from nobody, ho. I see you. Typical Iowans in the house. What's up, Iowa? And so, yeah, is this the best video game Chambers has ever played? Well, if it ain't, it's certainly sitting in the best video game of all time's chair until it gets here. Now, my current favorite video game, if that's a word you prefer to use better than greatest, makes you feel better in your feelings to hear that. Up until Nier Automata came on the scene, a little ditty by the name of Metroid was, and I guess technically still is, my favorite video game of all time. But now, and for years I actually couldn't decide if my favorite of all time was Metroid or Metal Gear. I don't think I've told that part of the story. Like I always say, my top two video games are original Metroid and original Metal Gear. The truth of the matter is, Metroid and Metal Gear kind of wrestle for that slot. Like I don't know that I love one of those games more than the other. I just kind of gave the nod to Metroid because it's the less obtuse of the games. Like Metroid you can figure out without Nintendo power. Metal Gear, you're not going to do that unless you have a friend that's already beat the game, which is how I beat it. Because I had friends who had played through the game years before I did. Because I didn't even get a Super Nintendo until almost I didn't even get a NES until almost the Super Nintendo was out. Because my parents didn't like to buy me stuff like that, man. I remember asking for laser tag. My dad like, why you need laser tag for? You ain't shooting nobody. Sit down. Like, all right. Bad. Yo, Pops, let me get a Nintendo. How much a Nintendo? Get your ass out of here. Like, all right. They got really generous in their, older age, but they were not having it when I was a kid, bro. And so, yeah, Metroid and Metal Gear fight for that slot. It's like, I really can't technically pick which one I like better, because both of them have elements that the other one doesn't have exactly, or at least the way it plays. That's just like, oh, that's so good. How did Kojima come up with this? And I to this day, I credit both games with why I even tolerate, like I'm the king of Prussia. Why I even tolerate role-playing games. It's the elements of original Metal Gear and original Metroid are the elements of RPGs that I like. All the damn storytelling and freaking, I don't give a shit. Where's the guy I gotta go rescue? Give me a gun. Yeah, I mean, so it was the gameplay that got me hooked, not the story bullshit that all you guys fuss about. But anyway, it's like, if you forced me to pick, I'd probably pick Metroid, but truthfully, I could just as easily say Metal Gear has that top slot. But now the conversation is, does Nier Automata get that top slot? And I'm going to tell you straight off the breaks, in terms of overall just straight up fun factor, I mean, it's not fair necessarily to compare Metroid and Metal Gear to this, because this game had the luxury of, I don't know, 2 decades or more of experience and technology advancements to make this game dope. But in terms of fun factor, just hands down fun, this game kills everything I've ever played ever. Which is why it begs the question, like, yo, is this my GOAT? Is this my greatest game of all time? The answer is we don't know yet. We got to play through it again. Got to do that. Got to play through it again, Jesus. I'm trying to get to these things that I'm supposed to be killing. Are they on top of the building? They must be. Or maybe not, maybe not. Maybe they're right here in the field, baby. They right here in the field, baby. I'll add you. Come get this ass whooping. You know you need it. Gotcha, bitch! Oh, brah! Alright, who else we got in this mother Fletcher? We got Typical Iron One says, you're playing a game 4 times to decide if it's your favorite. No, I'm playing a game 4 times because I love the game. That's all. But we're doing it on live stream. As the, like, this playthrough is the one that's going to determine, all right, I need to finally make a decision. Is this my favorite game of all time or is it not? And included in this, I will be streaming both the original Metal Gear and Metroid here at Collector vs. Wild. So we're doing Nier Automata first, and then I'm going to go back and play Metal Gear, then I'm going to go back and play Metroid. The cool part about those streams is they'll be probably 3 episodes, because those games, you know, video games when I was a kid didn't take 411 hours to beat. Come on, man, I should have packed a lunch with this game, man. What's happening? Broken Suba keeps talking about this Metroid Prime nonsense. I don't know what he's talking about. He's out of his mind. But he also collects spiders, so we're gonna try. Like, if he was running for office, that's how I'd get him if I was running against him. This dude collects tarantulas, ladies. I wouldn't even address the men. Ladies, this dude collects tarantulas. Is that who you want running your country? Yeah. Hell no. Get his ass up out of here. I wouldn't even have to debate him. Like, you gonna talk to me about the best game? You collect tarantulas. You are immediately not relevant. And I know that's discriminatory and not fair and horrible, but that's how we play the game, man. Play to win. Gotcha! Oh, y'all want to hit somebody? Alright, alright, alright! Keep playing, ho! You want this? It's gonna be your ass, all in your ass tonight. Oh, that's where I put it. Look at you missing people because you suck. Suck, ho! Your boy have no skill. Yeah, ho. Get out of here. Punk ass bitch. You don't know me. Yeah, get some. Y'all need to be dead too. Y'all messing with the wrong cat. The wrong lady. The wrong feminine android. I guess is that how you describe her? She's technically not a lady. Then I guess she's also technically not a she. Shit, this is getting too deep. Getting too deep, Jesus. This is the hardest enemy in the game to fight. Period. Like, hands down, this is the hardest thing to kill in the entire game. It gets no harder than having to shoot this little tiny ass ball on this snake leviathan ass body that seems to get faster every time you shoot it. Gotcha, bitch. All right. What's up, Steven? Ryan says 9:30, huh? Because he's petty. Broken Super says OG Metroid was a maze game. I hate maze games. At least Prime had ambiance. What do you like? A maze game? It's not a maze game. See, that's why I can't take you seriously. A maze game? Come on, bruh. It's not a maze when they tell you how to get through the damn maze, which is, hey, you got to be able to jump higher to go here. Hey, there's probably something that helps me jump higher. Let me go the other way. That's it. It's literally like Metroid is just a power fantasy. Maze game. This dude gonna find some technicality bullshit to shit on one of the best games ever made in history, to promote a shitty ass first person version. I'm bitching at the game. I've never played Metroid Prime in my life. Actually, that's not true. I think I played the first 2 minutes and 13 seconds of it, and then trying to use that stupid ass Wii bullshit controller. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't ever need to play this ever. If I gotta go through all this shit just to play this dumbass game, I'm cool. Kick rocks, Nintendo. Kick 'em. Actually, I have Metroid Prime on GameCube too. I guess I could have played it there. It's like I own it and don't play it. Ah! Metroid Prime. Get your ass out of here. Got your ass, oh! Give me my money! Alright. Super Metroid and Metroid Bay. I like original Metroid better than Super Metroid. Super Metroid just, to me, I liked it when I first played it, but then when I went back and tried to replay it, I'm like, this is just Metroid on crack. And I need something simpler. Like, Super Metroid is more of a damn maze than the original Metroid. Even with the stupid ass map. Let's see. How you doing, B? I'm fantastic, Steven. How are you? I wouldn't deny Metroid its due just because I wasn't a fan. It had a massive. It really didn't, though, man. Because I mean, Castlevania is truthfully the game that put Metroid on the map. Because without Symphony of the Night, which I don't even like that much, everybody swears by that game. I never ended up. I owned it on my original PlayStation, and then I traded it in because I didn't like it. Which I feel really stupid about now because it's worth $10 billion. But that system, like, nobody really started sweating Metroidvanias until Symphony of the Night. Super Metroid had its following, but like, I'll remind everybody, out of all of Nintendo's IPs, Metroid is one of the worst selling IPs at Nintendo. That's why you don't get new Metroid games all the damn time. People are always like, why are they not making new Metroid games? Because you bitches don't buy them. That's why. That's why they don't keep making stupid ass Metroid games, because people are not into it. You know, Castlevania kicked it off, but like, I know way more people that love Symphony of the Night and couldn't care less about Metroid. And I'm the opposite. Like, I would rather play Metroid than medieval Whippenstein, whatever, right? But yeah, I am totally cool with you not liking Metroid. It, it and you know the stuff about the maze game, I get it. I was joking, but like like even though Metroid is my goat, it's like yeah, I totally get why this is not a great selling game because you have to like, I think, playing games in a certain way. And don't get me wrong, Metroid, the original Metroid took me years to beat. Years of trying and failing and not understanding the game. Like, I think the love I developed for that game started as hate because it was very hard. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. It was kind of obtuse. But I played it again as I got older. And in fact, one of the kids I was in school with gave me the Justin Bailey code. He's like, hey, try this code. It'll be easier. So the first time I ever beat the game, I beat it as Justin Bailey, which being able to play as Justin Bailey kind of gave me the boost I needed as a kid to be decent at the game. And then that's where I started to develop, all right, I like this game. So honestly, I think my love for the game is really just kind of like the way a marriage works, which is if you kind of like somebody and you get along, you're going to be great because you're going to spend a lot of time and build more and more affinity with them over time. So it's like just the amount of time I spent with that game, I think, contributes to why I like it so much. Same with original Metal Gear. I've probably beaten original Metal Gear more times than I've beaten. No, it's probably neck and neck. It's probably... Nah, because I've gone back and played Metroid a bunch of times on handheld, so that doesn't count. Anyway, I totally get if you like Metroid Prime or whatever, because you grew up during the Nintendo 64 generation, I'm assuming, was like your... I assume a Super Nintendo was your first console, but not like the one you fell in love with. Ooh, there it is. The only thing that is fair to completely discredit someone for it is they like their steaks well done. Interesting. I used to eat my steaks well done, so probably should start. I don't necessarily do it now. But when I was a kid, that's how I used to order them. So, consider me discredited. But I've been trying to discredit myself for years, so that shouldn't be the thing that puts me over the edge. This is some interesting psychology. Now, Broken Suba has been psychologically breaking me down for years with his insane love for tarantulas, but more importantly for Demon Souls games. Or he specifically likes Bloodborne, I think, over the Souls games. And he says, maze to me, bro, I could never find all the crap I needed to progress because I had to go into every single room filled with respawning enemies. Oh, kind of like Dark Souls respawns all the damn enemies every time you save the game. Yeah, all the enemies in that game respawn. Are you kidding me? So I think you just gave me an interesting piece to a big difference between you and I in video games. Because given the fact that Bloodborne is like your GOAT, you don't see. I bet you don't like exploration as much as me. Because it sounds like you hated going into every room, but I loved going into every room because there was the chance for me to find treasure every time I went into a room. So I'm betting money. Like, you just don't get the joy of exploration. Like, when I found the high jump boots, I lost my whole shit. I was like, man, I'm going to the grocery store. It's like when you first get your license. I'm going to drive to the grocery store, get some groceries. I'm going to drive to football practice. Man, I'm going to drive to Maryland, because that's not that far. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was hyped. I imagine you don't get, like... The joy you seem to get is in figuring out how to solve, like, introverted shit. Like, how did I solve this puzzle? Versus, how did I go on this great adventure and find cool shit? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I didn't just crack the code on why we hate each other's video games. Or at least part of the code, right? It took me hours in OG Metroid to learn you have to shoot red doors 5 times with rockets. Wasn't that in the booklet? Y'all were them cats that never read the booklet. I think that was the generation that came after me. Like, we never read no booklet. Shit, I read the hell out of that joint. It's gonna help me play this game. I don't want to, but damn, I will. Let me in, hoes. I thought for sure there'd be something there. All right. Do I still not have all this dude's supplies he wants me to get? Because I feel like I've been everywhere he's asked me to go. Let's see. Almost as bad as selective of blue crystal. Yeah, so I will not fault anybody for shitting on Simon's Quest, even though it's my second favorite Castlevania. I get it. Like, I hated the game too until somebody taught me how to play it. But then once I knew how to play Simon's Quest, once you get over the Nintendo trying to sell their bullshit magazine by making their games impossible, once you got past that part and you knew what to do, the game was fun to me. So I loved it after somebody taught me what to do. But somebody had to teach me what to do for the game to be enjoyable, which I think is it's a deal breaker. Like, your game should not, that's malicious to the consumer, to me. Like, damn, dude. It's manipulative as shit. Alright, what'd I get? Copper ore? Sweet. Yeah. But I fault no one for hating that game if you didn't grow up with me as a kid and have thousands of hours to invest into figuring that crap out. Or you just had a friend that had a Nintendo Power subscription. Typical Iowan says, the only Castlevania I had the patience to complete was ironically Simon's. Yeah, same. I never finished the original Castlevania. Or no. Yes, I did. I beat 1, 2, never beat 3 because it bored the shit out of me. 4 I loved because it was short. And then after that, I think I was done with Castlevania. I was like, alright. First console was the Sega Master System. Yeah, but yeah, my first console was an Atari 2600. But I was also not born when that shit came out, and it was actually my brother's console. Get out of here with my first console was technically bullshit. Okay, so is your favorite game of all time on the Sega Master System? Yeah, I didn't think so, Mr. Technicality. Oh, it's funny, man. Dark Souls 2 is the best Souls. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Let's see, well done meats being a racially predicated thing. I believe that, because I never heard nobody eating no goddamn rare steak till a white person said that shit. Not a single, you know, if white and black even exists, made up bullshit, but the, I ain't never heard nobody who identifies as white, how about that, we'll use woke terminology for that shit, as talking about, or somebody who identifies as black. Somebody, I love my steaks rare. That's where all the flavor is. That's where salmonella is, you dumbass. Like, hell no. Or people that be like, I love my steak still bleeding. And like, what's wrong with you? Like, why? We have ovens, motherfucker. Like, it doesn't taste better because it's bleeding, unless you like the taste of blood, even though it's not blood. It's just protein mixed with water and it turns red. But that's a whole other discussion. Yes, there's totally racial bias on steak doneness. I'm not eating a steak that's not at least medium, or that's not medium well. Because you bleeding ass people, I'm like, you want, and I don't like shit. I don't like to eat shit that's like super, like people putting gravy on shit. Nah, man, give me my shit solid. That shit does not. I don't need to drink my steak, man. Cool. Fuck out of here. I like exploration, probably not as much as you though, but for me it was more annoying with Metroid because they spawn as soon as you leave the room. Yeah, but they do the same thing in, I mean, I guess it's technically not exactly the same in Dark Souls, but every time you save the game, you gotta go through the same fucking monsters you fight 11 times. It's interesting. how we can be averse to something in one game, but not because, believe me, like the shit I complain about with Kojima games, and I'm sitting here saying Death Stranding may make my top 20 games of all time list. Like, yeah, all right, but you need to explain that. Like, I can't even explain it yet. Shut up. Dang, that dude dipped. Nice jump, man. That was a nice little jack move he pulled right there. Well done, bro. All right, I just found next people I gotta kill. What up, ho? Ready for that ass whooping we talked about? Yeah, you are. Come here. Oh, that's you? You gonna hit it at exactly the right time? Come get some, man. I got all you need right here. Get your dumb ass out of here. You gonna bring your boys into the fight? Okay. All right. I got something for you. They ass too. Here we go. All in your ass. All in your ass. Look at me. Airborne in your ass. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in your ass where I put my feet, bitch. Put my feet, bitch. Alright. Hey, what's up, Harlequin? Harlequins. What's going on? I had of NES, Next, Genesis after PlayStation as a teen. Right on, man. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted a Sega Master System. Never had one. I want to go back and play, because I remember as a kid playing a Sega Master System at somebody else's house, and they had Double Dragon. I'm like, yo, why is your Double Dragon like the arcade, and my Double Dragon's not? It's because you got a sissy ass Nintendo, man. We got Sega. Or it wasn't Genesis at the time, but you know, it was like, look at you, ho, you missed. You missed too, ho. All in your ass. Like that? I put so many feet in your ass, you don't even know what happened. Look at you. Owen.
Alert. Incoming message from command.
Mama's an alert.
All
I already killed this dude.
Be on the lookout for a missing Yorha in the city ruins. This unit is in possession of several plug-in chips that contain classified information. I need you to seek out whatever intel you can regarding their current whereabouts and status.
Roger.
Chips with classified data, is it?
Man, if Dark Souls combat was like this game, it'd probably be my favorite game. Be one of my favorite games too. But that game is about restraint, not mobility. So, what are you gonna do? This should be my last piece. Yes, sir. All right, where are you at?
Okay, that should be everything we need to repair the machine.
Let's go repair the machine, baby. And be on the lookout for the Yor. Actually, the Yorha unit she's talking about is up on one of these buildings, if memory serves me right. I believe. Or is it the other? That's exactly who it is. All right, let's go there before we talk to the machine and knock this side quest out. See, Ryan says medium rare. Okay. I think I've had steak medium. I've gone as low as medium before, but usually it's medium or medium. Medium is as low as I'm going. I don't want no liquid coming out my steaks when I'm chewing them. It's a nasty texture. I don't want to do any slurping of food that's supposed to be solid. Ramen being the exception. And this game is just balanced very, very well, man. Like, the gun should not do that much damage because it shoots 7,000 rounds per second. And it doesn't. Like, the gun is really just crowd control and taking out lesser enemies while you, you know, tactically maneuver around whatever else is trying to kill you. It's just the guy. I don't know that Platinum can ever top this, man. That's what I want to see, is this next Nier Gestalt, however you say that word. Whenever that joint comes out, they're going to be up to something. Typical Iowan says, yes, Dark Souls 2 is best Souls. It has the best story by far, and it's not shoved down your throat like in 1. It has more weapon diversity. The environment storytelling is amazing. And it's more forgiving with non-optimized builds. Yeah, I hate games that say, oh, this is the way you wanted to build your character. Sorry, that's not one of the 16 preferred ways we like you to build characters in order to be able to play this game effectively. So you can either spend $7 billion and respec yourself, or you can just start the game over. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm at the point in my life now where if I know a game's like that, I'm just not even gonna fire it up. Like I'm really starting to get legit. Instead of every console generation me announcing that I'm quitting video games because some game pissed me off and I'm a bitch, I'm just like, I'm gonna make a list of the shit I'm just not gonna play anymore, because inevitably every time I ever quit gaming, I came back because something like Nier Automata would get made. It's like, well, okay, they figured out how to stop sucking for 7 minutes, let's jump back in. But whew, it's usually long freaking droughts in between games like Nier Automata, unfortunately. But like, there's just a list of things video games do that are just like, nah. Like, looter shooters, not gonna happen. Like Diablo, Victor Ferran, I'll make an exception because those games are a lot more arcadey than like a freaking Cyberpunk with the shit loot systems. If you're gonna constantly make me pick up shit to have to build shit, but then I have to be in my menus every 7 minutes because I picked up too much shit to build shit for your dumbass system that I have to level up through building shit. It's like, I'm not fucking with your game, dog. If I gotta be in the menu every 7 minutes doing quote unquote, like, if inventory management is a feature in your game, I'm gone. Unless I can, like, I'm researching right now to figure out, can I mod Skyrim to just remove the carry limit? Because I'm not gonna put up with that shit. Like, I'm not a hoarder. I'm not gonna go sell 7 billion bones to the merchant so I can be a millionaire. I don't have time for that shit. Like, who is that guy? That's what most people do. You gotta have the carry limit. People break the game. Like, yeah, people, losers who don't have other shit to do. I got other shit. Who cares about them? Like, just don't play your game that way, but don't make me have to do fucking accounting to play your game. Get your ass out of here. Nobody wants to hang out with you. You're a horrible human being for this. So yeah, like, the minute I hear, oh yeah, it's got the inventory management system is great, you just never play in your game. Ever. If I have to do inventory management. Nope. Out. You know, now, every once in a while, do I need to buy equipment or equip a new OS system like in this game? Yeah, fine. I'm going to go to my menu once every playthrough. Not once every 3 battles. I don't need to get into my... Oh, you're over encumbered. You picked up too many small recovery things. Word? Is the fear that I'm just going to pick up all the small recoveries and never be able to be killed? Because if that's how I want to play the game, then just let me do it. Other people who don't want that experience probably won't. And then I hear people say, well, I don't have any discipline, so I need the game to babysit. Okay, so we have to suffer because you're a piece of shit. Okay, fine. I get it. Video games are made for kids, even though they're 40. I understand. Alright, anyway, Broken says, I think it's hilarious that Souls games made such an impression on you, albeit negatively, that you constantly try to crack the code. No, see, that's where you're misunderstanding. Dark Souls actually had an incredibly positive impact on me. And that's why I can't fucking let it go. Because it's like, if this game is as amazing... Because go back and watch my first Dark Souls video on one of my other channels. I'm singing nothing but the game's praises. Like, I loved the first 15 minutes of the game that I reviewed. And then once I realized what the game was, which is, it's an ass rape simulator, which is, this is for masochists who like to get their ass raped regularly all the time, and then when they finally get to the day where the ass raping doesn't happen, to them that's like winning the lottery. For me, it's like, well, damn, I won't get ass raped ever, because it's not fun. I'm out. Right? So the formula that makes it the game is what I have fucking problems with. The gameplay parts I'm actually kind of okay with, because the environment, the ambiance, like you said earlier, like, it's amazing. And there's a lot of the good parts of Castlevania in this game. And the challenge, I actually like that the fights are not terribly easy. It's just, I don't want to solve a puzzle every time I get into a fight and get beat and get beat and get beat. And then, oh, I finally beat the boss. Like, my joy in the game doesn't come from overcoming the individual challenges. My joy comes from experiencing the feeling of growth, right? So if you're a guy that likes to beat levels, I could see Dark Souls being like your shit, because you have to work to beat these levels. I don't give a fuck about a level. I just want to feel myself constantly getting better and constantly getting stronger without having to incur brutal ass rape to get there. That's all. That it's not negative. It's supremely positive, and it's this one little fucking negative piece of this game pisses me off, because this whole universe that I want to be a part of with their storytelling does all the things that I love versus hate. It's all positive, man. It's just, I bitch so much that everybody thinks I'm being negative. It's like, no, I'm bitching because it's amazing, and this one little problem, if it didn't have it, I would never stop playing and talking about Dark Souls games. But because they made it for masochists instead of people who enjoy making progress, instead of, basically, they made it for the guy that likes to be suffocated for 2 hours, and then when you finally let go of his throat, he's so thankful that he's not dying anymore. It's like, this is for people who don't want to thrive. Fuck that. I'm not gonna thank you for taking your hands off my throat. I'm gonna beat your ass. And the pain just is too great for the limited reward. I just think you get a much higher dopamine rush from beating a boss, that, like, I just get angry. Like, fuck this boss. I'm glad it's finally over. I'm gonna kill their whole family. Let's see, what did he give us? This was the side quest I was trying to do before I went and did the main quest. Just couldn't remember exactly where he was. Let's see, Harley Quinn's roommate's on his nerves. Wants him to drive him to the dealership because he won one of those. Oh, Jesus. Get out of here with that. Typical Ironwood says, I hate progression systems where your weapon's progressively better, and so you have to constantly change. Yeah, dude. God. And you know, what I found out when I started to talk about that on TikTok was a lot of young cats love that. This one kid was like, what you sound like you want. I assume he was a kid. God, if I don't know what's going on in the world. But he was like, what it sounds like you're vying for is less variety. I was like, well, maybe not less variety, less shit variety. Like, no, I still want variety. I just want the variety to mean, like, every time I find a sword, it should feel like I did something. I shouldn't get 19 swords every time I kill a group of thugs. Because and this sword is 0.00008% better than the sword I'm carrying. Get the fuck out of here. But what I'm learning from some people who've been conditioned by these looter shooter fucking dopamine addiction simulators that I'm shitting on purposefully because I want game designers to understand there's also some... There is some altruism that they're missing. Like, when you create one of these dopamine addiction systems, and I think Cyberpunk flirts with the line, it's like you're fucking with people's psychology in a way that's not healthy for them. And it's like, the kid was frustrated with me, like, you're taking my variety away. It's like, no, I'm trying to make sure you don't have a fucking dopamine addiction. Like, you need to constantly be finding new shit or you're gonna go nuts. Like, calm down. Every time you find a sword, it should be an event. Not just the people shit out swords every time you kill them, and then I gotta pick them all up because it's like fuck all that. Any games going forward, I find out that's how they work. Gone. I don't even want to turn it on because it's just not the way I want to play a game. But I'm say all that to say I agree with you. Typical. Suba says, "LOL, Revenant didn't have growth, just lucky spawns and drops. What made you put up with that and not Souls?" One, it wasn't puzzle bullshit. You only got your ass beat in Remnant because they overwhelmed you. So the frustration isn't I can't beat this boss because I can't figure out this stupid fucking gimmick. It's I can't beat this boss because I'm just not strong enough. Remnant was all progression, right? It was all growth. It's just my main complaint with the game, and the reason why I eventually walked away from it, was it grows like an MMO. The growth is just so gradual and ridiculously slow because the developers want you to play the game for 700 hours so they can collect data on you to, advertise and make better games. Once I figured out that that's what they were doing, I'm like, fuck these developers, dude. I'm out. I'm not playing this bullshit MMO disguised as a minor multiplayer game. So no, it was totally growth. It's just the growth was very slow. But Remnant had no puzzle bullshit to finding out. You knew how to kill the boss just by looking at it. I don't need to sit here and fight it 19 fucking times. If I'm fighting a boss 19 times, which is rare in that game, it's just because you're under leveled. Go level up, problem solved. Which is the way I like to play my games. I'd like to be able to level out of the thing, not have to play Tomb Raider every time I get into a boss fight. Have I played Dark Souls 2 or 3? Yeah. I think I've played all 3 Dark Souls and didn't like any of them. I think I like the first one the best out of the ones I've played. Or I may have just played 1 and 3. I think I might not have played 2. I think 2 might be the one I never collected. Oh, finally got a new pod program. Typical Ironwood says, my issue is I would find a weapon that I thought was awesome because of art or mechanic specific to that weapon, only to have it become obsolete. Yeah, same. The looter shooter freaking dopamine addiction simulators. I give games like Diablo a pass because the point of the game is to run into a dungeon, collect as much as you can, and get out. It's not this, hey, every time this dude gets into a battle, drop a bunch of loot because it's acquisitive. It's gonna tap into that primitive part of his brain that's gonna release a bunch of dopamine. And it's a fucking design gimmick designed to get you to keep. It's a gameplay loop, but to me, it's a gameplay loop that's borders on malicious psychologically. And I just don't want game designers. And I don't think they're intentionally trying to hurt anybody. I think they're just not educated on flirting with that line. Dude, these looter shooter systems. I get players are telling you they want variety, but you're flirting with that. This is on that negative manipulation side of the house. Some of that shit I give Facebook sweat for. You know what I mean? You could do this better. And Cyberpunk would have to change very little to make that game way better. Because it's still made by a company that makes dope effing games, don't get me wrong. As much beef as I have with that game specifically, I still will praise a lot of the stuff it did right. Oh, audio went choppy there for a second. Oh, sorry about that. On the positive converse, I'd rather have I beat him because I'm better, rather than I beat him because I was lucky. Yes, I would too, but the difference in Remnant is you can remove the need for luck by just leveling up. Or the solution that I found to Remnant that actually made it fun was I started playing with the guy we were playing with. What was his name? What was that brother's name we were playing with? God bless him. The guy we bought the DLC for. His name escapes me. But playing it with another person made it exponentially easier and fun. So yes, in that isolated incident, or in that isolated case, Suba, you and I are actually in agreement. I never want to just get lucky. I want to beat him because I'm better. The problem I have with Dark Souls is the process to get better is a slog of tedium puzzle solving that I just don't want to do. Like if the game were out, if the combat in Dark Souls were more like Outward, I'd be all in, because in Outward, once you kind of figure out the dance to kill something, you know how to basically kill everything. It's just certain things have more reach, certain things can kill you a lot faster, but the ballet is still basically the same. The game is much more simple than Dark Souls has a lot of complexity and nuance that I just do not want to have to fucking learn. Because to me, Dark Souls is one of those games where you're learning the nuance. Oh, you're supposed to roll slightly forward and to the left, and then like fuck all of that. I would rather go outside and just fight wraiths, because for me it would be easier to just learn how to fight a wraith in real life than trying to make my avatar on screen do it clumsily. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good point, Sue. Yes, Merlin. No, not Merlin. Not Merlin. It's a different brother. Different brother. Merlin hung out with us. Merlin actually is one of our regular guys here that hangs out and did the charity streams with us. Not Merlin. His name will come back to me because he's on my friends list. I'll see him. Ryan says, I wish skill was actually involved in leveling instead of gain XP, rinse, repeat. Yes, play the actual Final Fantasy II, the Japanese edition. You'll love every minute. That's exactly what the leveling system is. Every time you attack someone, you get better at attacking. Every time you get punched in the face, you get better at defense. It's an amazing combat mixed with leveling system, man. I love it. Most people hate it, of course, because I like it. It's pretty much how it goes. I like it, the world pretty much hates it. That's another reason I like Dark Souls 2. Most of the boss fights were humanoid, so they felt like a battle between two legendary swordsman warriors than hitting the missing scale of a dragon. Yeah, I can dig that. Broken Super says, agreed. There is a steep learning curve for combat in Souls. Yeah, that's all I mean is I just don't want to learn all of the damned nuances. I want to press A to jump, press B to fire. And then, you know, I can get good at controlling my jumps and when I fire and when I duck and shit. But the level of complexity that goes into a dark... That's why when I did the psychological experiment, I'm like, I think you have to be introverted to love this game. Because you have to like introspection, focusing. You also have to not have ADHD insanely like I do. So it's like you have to like to focus, to learn bit by bit as you make mistakes. It's like the kid that never talks until he's thought it through 1,000 times, the introvert who finally speaks up in class, whereas the extroverts are blurting all the shit out. It's the same thing. Like, I think you have to have that very damn patient, let's get just a little bit better at this fight every time we do it. And that little bit of progress is enough to keep you in the fight. It's like, I'm out. Let me kill a dragon or I'm leaving. (11,934 AD). You just gave it up. That's funny. The archive. Hey, all right. Repairs completed. Interesting. Should get a call from... There he is. Hey, there, she finally did it. Damn. Do that 10 more times. See if we can get her to do it. I think the angle is like right here. This game is like Kojima level perverted. Like, try to look up your character's dress, and there's no bull and achievement for looking up your character's dress. So we just did one of the 10 where she swats the camera away. Gotta do that 10 times. And then I think it's 10. I can't honestly remember. I did it by accident. I didn't even know what was happening in the game. I was just adjusting the camera, trying to shoot things, and then she would swat. I was like, why does the camera keep fucking up? And then I got an achievement. I was like, oh, damn. There's an achievement for the dress looking up. What is this, 2nd grade? There's a dress in the other room I can go look up in real life at any given time. Maybe with a couple minutes notice. We don't need video game dresses. But if that's people's thing, live your dream. Let's see. Well, it seems like you're more open to playing with others now. Could always go co-op so you can appreciate the game without much. Yeah, I eventually plan to do it. I'll eventually bring you on here and we'll Dark Souls together or whatever it is we're doing. Let's see. Typical Iron One says Final Fantasy II leveling was awesome. You got stronger by using all weapons, and you got better for each weapon. Yep. Wait, are you talking about Final Fantasy 2 or 4? You talking about 2 United States edition or 2 actual the one I was talking about? And then Final Fantasy 6. I don't even remember Final Fantasy 6's leveling system. I just remember Final Fantasy 6 was the game that made me think, you know what? Maybe RPGs aren't my thing, because this game. I think it took me 9 years to beat it. Like, no BS, I kept coming back to it, like, on summer break from school. And then I remember I didn't beat that game, I think, until I was in college. That's how long it took me to finally get around to finishing this stupid-ass game. Like, dude. I was home. I remember I was home from college one summer, and I guess I didn't have a job that summer or whatever. I was like, screw it. We're beating Final Fantasy 3 or 6. And I remember not liking much of it. It's like, this game was not made with me in mind. And then the opera scene that... I remember the first time I heard people on the internet talking about, like, oh, they're getting ready to talk about this shitty opera scene from Final Fantasy 3. Good, I hope they shit all over it the way... Oh, no, they loved it. Oh my god, this is seen as one of the greatest things that's ever happened in video games. I am clearly out of touch with the people who talk about video games, bruh. Like, eesh, my bad. Let me keep my mouth shut so I don't piss these people off. Oh, too late, they're pissed. Running on the river. See, the cool thing about Elix, when we finally get around to streaming that for the 2nd time, is if I had to come up here in Elix, there would have been like a shotgun right here. Talking about going back to why I love video games that have great exploration. There would have been a shotgun right here that's stronger than everything else you faced in the game at this point. And then for a couple hours, you could just wreck shop until you run into another part of the game where it gets hard again. It was like, yeah, thank you, Elix. Being willing to explore pays off. What up, G? Trying to stay up here so I can talk to you. Listen, my brother. You good? No? Turn red again. I'm trying to see what's going on. What you got for me, dog? Let's see. Suba says, what I like about Bloodborne, get stronger, not your character or your weapons. The key to winning is personal achievement. You mean you get stronger in terms of getting better at figuring out the puzzles? Is that what you mean by that? I could buy that. I would just say it would be, for me, the equivalent of if you said, hey, B, I'm going to help you be a bodybuilder. It's going to take you 17 years to be able to bench 315 pounds. But when you get there, brother, woo, it's going to be a celebration. Like, but I did it in 4 months. Nope, not here. Let's see. Nerds will argue all day about which build is best, but at the end of the day, the one who sucks less wins. I'll buy that. Playing Final Fantasy Tactics loaded up. Just got chills hearing the PS. Wow, nice. Stupid says, I just started a dude beat the first boss in Bloodborne without dodging, rolling, locking on, or taking damage. I was like, I want to try. Nice. I have learned through various video games that if an area or anomaly is in the game, the devs put it there for a reason. Yep. Tell him a story. Holy wants a story. Give him one. Once upon a time, there was a man named Humpty Dumpty. And his fat ass fell off a wall. But that's fat shaming, so we had to change the book to his calorically challenged ass fell off the wall. Okay. Let's check the old map ski. Figure out where we're actually supposed to go. In the game. That's what it wants me to. Why there? Let's figure it out. Even the map system in this game is made by Jesus. He was a carpenter. Right, make a dope. Well, it's a little bit different from a cartographer, but I still think Jesus would make a dope ass map. I just have a feeling he was good at a lot of shit. There's a whole book based on him, so I figured he was probably pretty dope at a couple of things. Oh, they want me to go back down to the get down. All right, I go to the get down. What up, hoes? Oh, there's two things here. Delicious. Running through the buildings like a pimp on a Thursday. Today's Friday. Shut your ass up. Interrupted my song time. Is Jackass still down here? Survey says yes, she is. Hey, Jackass, what's happening, girl? Well played, Jackass. We got some new stuff in our inbox now. Direct order from the commander, eh?
Operator 6022B.
What up?
Be aware that the following transmission is classified Privilege Level 5. A group of Yorha fighters deployed to the city ruins have deserted. We need you to take care of them immediately. But don't get yourself hurt, alright?
Your mama gets me.
Yorha members deserting? And attacking the Resistance, no less?
Proposal. Rogue Yorha units should be captured and detained in order to keep collateral damage at a minimum.
Detained? Easy for you to say.
22, baby. Leveling up all the time for Jesus. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm trying to figure out how that song is not about a drunk guy. Jesus, take the wheel. I had too much Michelob. They had Michelob back in Jesus' time? I did. Alright, let's zap ourselves somewhere, I guess. Where they want us to zap to. Where we zapping to, hoes? No. There was a factory they wanted me to go to at one point, right? I need to check my map before I start zapping things. Jazz out of here. Oh, they're all over the place. Word. Let's zap then, baby. Let's get to zapping. Ursula's in the house. Weight is one of the things I think should be perfectly fine to shame for me, because 9 out of 10 if someone is fat, it's because they like. I guess my bigger issue is with the terminology. Like, you are fat shaming. Like, calling somebody what they are, is that asking them to be ashamed of it? Like, if you fat, enjoy that shit. Like, it means you eating, motherfuckers. There's plenty of Africans, I am sure. Like, hey man, you fat as shit. It's a compliment like a motherfucker, right? Like, look at these fat people, and God really blessed y'all. I don't know. I'm probably too stupid for this conversation, so I'll leave that to those of you who are the smarter. Aha. Delicious. It won't open. Dun, dun, dun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and other. Is that how you say that now? Ladies and gentlemen and others? It's the proper protocol for addressing our non-binary friends in the world. Yes, yes, Clem. I'm about to roll on out. And I want to bid you all a fond adieu. Thank you for being here. Thanks for listening to me rant about nothing and everything. And have a good time just talking smack, Mags. That's what we do around these parts. My prayer is that all of you are doing fantastically. As far as streams go, I'll probably still be doing them throughout the weekend, because that's about the only thing I'm going to be able to do, because I'm going to have a house full of more children than I typically have. Like, my children are usually enough to make the house extremely chaotic. I'm also taking on my nephew, who's going to be staying with me this week. So, yep, I can't really be doing much else but streaming and trying to lock myself in my office and hide from all these loud-ass people that seem to keep invading my house, to include my children who apparently live here. At least that's what my wife tells me has to happen for legal reasons, so that's why my kids have rooms. That said, I don't know what time I'll be back tomorrow. I think if I stream, I'd like it to be on the earlier side, like not midnight, like during the day. Or it's when I usually prefer to stream, but always end up getting distracted. Like, I was supposed to be here at 9:30 tonight, but I was speaking at a thing that I told you guys about on last night's stream, and that thing went long. I also didn't know that the thing I was speaking at was an evening thing. I thought it was going to be happening during the day. So that went long, and then a friend of mine, trying to help him with his business, dealing with some issues with some of the stuff that's going on social media right now. Just trying to help him get squared away. So, and it was all voluntary. Like, it's stuff I wanted to do and was happy to do. It's just like usually in my house, stuff like that always comes up. It's like, oh, gotta do something. Oh, gotta try that. Gotta do this. You know, all good stuff and all stuff I want to be doing, but all stuff that I typically prioritize over streaming with you guys, just because, you know, helping people save lives and businesses in the real world is slightly more important to me than playing Nier Automata. So with that said, God bless every blessed one of you sexy mofos. Thanks for being here to listen to my crazy ass just think out loud. And that's all we're doing here. For anybody that's new here who listens to this crazy stuff that comes out of my mouth, it's satire, right? First and foremost, it's satire. We're having fun. I'm not actually angry about anything. Like, even the video games that I act angry about, it's all fun, man. We're all just having a good time. Also, when I get to the deeper topics, man, we're just thinking out loud. That's all we're doing. I ain't telling y'all the gospel or the truth. Just thinking out loud, saying some things, thinking some things. And I do all my thinking with words, which is a scary proposition in 2021 because everybody's too sensitive about damn words. But, come on, man, we're getting stronger, we're getting better. And that's all we can commit to. A little bit, 1% every day. We're going to do that. We're going to love each other until we get off this big blue spinning spaceship. Until that day, until all are one, my friends, I love you dearly. We are stronger than I. I'll see you tomorrow.